I think we've talked about this a little bit too. I made a video recently about it, and that is like when capital constrained from that $0 to $1 million marker is like just stair step growth. And how I like to think about it is like the first half of the year, first 6 months is I'm growing, typically during your busy season. And then the second half, I'm going to optimize. Instead of just constantly, pedal the metal, I'm buying trucks, I'm hiring people, I'm getting my supply way ahead of my demand. And I think it's okay if you have this ambition of building $1 million business that's 20% profitable, is grow and then optimize. Grow and optimize. Optimize your profitability, et cetera. And then the first half of the year, it's like I'm hiring, I'm advertising, I'm getting new customers. But I think the reason I talk about that is a lot of times people will spend a lot of their marketing dollars in the time of the year where their customer acquisition cost is the highest. And it's in this pursuit of growth versus, okay, I will grow when I can grow at a lower customer acquisition cost. And then I will optimize my business when it doesn't really make any sense for me to go buy more customers and keep advertising and plowing money into marketing. But anytime I see when someone is hungry for growth, to your point, it costs a little extra to get that foreman. It costs a little extra to get the extra truck. When you're way ahead of your skis and you have 3 extra trucks, 2 guys you don't really need on the payroll, everyone's kind of kicking around because of it. They know there's not a lot of work going on. They want to get their 40 hours in. That's when I start seeing a lot of bloat and a lot of waste, and then people never make a profitable business. They grow, but they never grow profitable. They grow a large, unprofitable business at the end of the day. And I think the kind of happy medium I've seen, assuming you're capital constrained, meaning you don't have loans or money that you can just keep pumping into the business, is grow for half the year and then optimize. Raise your prices. Move the bottom 10%, increase their prices. Like that stair-step approach to where now when you have $1 million business, it's 20%, not you've grown and grown and grown and you get to $1 million and you realize I'm actually losing money.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So you gave the example of raising prices on the bottom 10% or some percentage of the business. What are examples of safe places to dial back your spend, your expenses to clean up the business, to optimize?
Advertising is low-hanging fruit, especially if you're trying to grow. Like just dial back when you know customer acquisition cost starts to literally double or triple.
Is that like cut it in half? Is that eliminate it? What does that mean?
I think the thing that I've seen be useful is understanding what your actual capacity is so that when you hit it, you know you can dial back marketing. You know you can dial back advertising. You only need to get a certain number of customers and being able to know, okay, with this number of employees and this number of trucks, I can complete this much revenue or this many budget hours. And when I hit it, I know I'm going to raise prices and I'm not going to go out and just willingly buy a truck or extend my capacity late in the season when I know that vehicle is not going to get used very much for after the next few weeks. And understanding what your demand curve is and then matching it with what I'm spending on marketing, that's a low-hanging fruit. I think the other part is just, even when it comes to admin, like, can I somehow make that a variable expense that when I get less busy, I'm able to dial that expense back? Anytime anything fixed, immediately that's the first thing I'm looking at is can I bring my fixed expenses down to make sure that when I'm optimizing the business, it's actually profitable?
Are there any forms of expenses you've seen people try to cut to get more profitable and you'd say, no, this never goes well? Does anything come to mind?
Oh man. You got really sharp, like things like benefits and stuff like that. Like I'm not going to touch the culture of the business.
Yeah.
I think being able to do a good cost analysis on like, okay, what's the cost of this expense? If I do cut it, what's the downside? For example, I'll rip out all the admin. I don't need them. Well, are you going to be able to replace them? How long does it take to train them up of your time?
Right.
And so I think it's rare that someone has people expenses that I think they need to rip out. I think you can take this way too far and rip stuff out. But I certainly think it's a matter of trimming and optimization, not necessarily like I need to change the business model during this time of the year or like the second half of the year. I'm just like cutting everything. It's like, can we take 5%, 10%, 15%, look for these areas of opportunity, reduce our spend on marketing and the offensive measures that we had when customer acquisition cost was low? But nothing comes to my mind that I see people go like way overboard, because usually it's pretty obvious. Like if I axe Sally at the end of the season because she's overhead, I'm gonna have to replace Sally next spring.
You'll pay for it.
Yeah. So I don't usually see that one being cutting too deep. If you've built a $1 million home service business, but you're struggling to get to the next level at $10 million in annual revenue, I've created a private community just for you. It's called Home Service Boardroom, because what got you to $1 million is all the work, the hustle, the grind, figuring out your leads, your website. But what gets you from $1 million to $10 million is learning the skill of leadership, finding other great talent and managers to work for you. If that's of interest, go check out mikeandy.com/school or see the link in the description.